Welcome back, everybody. It's the Puckheads at Sportsbook Review. I'm Mike Brenner. Sitting next to me is Scott Carter, and we're on the line with Dana Lane out in Las Vegas. Dana, first and foremost, how's everything going out in Vegas?
Everything's awesome in Vegas. We're about ready to build a brand new stadium for hopefully an NFL team. And of course, the NHL will be here next year. So we're all very excited.
Wow, that is fantastic. With that being said, guys, this is our second show. On the first show, Scott Carter, who's here with me, he went 1-1 on his picks. Dana was 0-1 picking the Los Angeles Kings. But who in the right mind could have known that Jonathan Quick would be hit with such a severe injury so early in the year? Matter of fact, one period into the first game. With that being said, Scott Carter, what's the update on Jonathan Quick?
And just for the fans, he's the goalie, obviously. It's obvious. Looks like he's got a big growing injury, and it's going to be he could be up to 4 months out of action.
Wow.
Depends if he's going to go with surgery or if he's going to go with rehab, as we were talking to Dana off the air about it. So that's going to be huge for them.
That's a hell of a hurdle for that organization to overcome so early. Okay, well, moving forward, we got a big hockey slate today. Dana, we're going to start with you. Is there any game that sticks its head out that you think has a betting advantage for our viewers that are maybe just starting to bet on hockey or are looking for an edge with their hockey bets?
Yeah, I'll tell you, Mike, what we like to do early in the season is really try to identify those underdogs, because the quicker that we can build our bankroll without much risk, the easier it is for us later on in the season. And we think that these numbers are kind of soft to begin with, because a lot of bookmakers are already knee deep in the NFL. The NBA is coming up, and the amount of attention that they pay to the NHL at this point in time is probably minimal. I mean, we could point to the Edmonton Oilers, not that total never being adjusted from 5.5. These bookmakers are not going to go to 6 until a little bit later in the season, when clearly the pace of their play dictates a 6 or not, maybe even a 6.5. But as far as a game that sticks out, Mike, I mean, Carolina plus $1.27 over Edmonton tonight is the game that we're pointing to. Edmonton lost 6-2 to Buffalo the other night in a pretty listless effort, and I'm just not a fan of Cam Talbot. I don't know what's going on between his ears, but when you give up a 100-foot shot that goes in the back of the net, I'm not sure the confidence level is where it needs to be in Edmonton right now.
Wow. And again, I'm more or less a novice at this, but I love the sport. I played it as a child. I love it. I watch it. I'm a big fan. Edmonton Oilers, this is a team that seems to be a pattern. So much inconsistency. There's just no mainstay there like back in the day. So, all right, that might be a good angle there. Scott, what's a pick that you like that's sticking its head out to help out our viewers?
Well, one I'm looking at right now is Tampa Bay in Florida. I'm taking the over 5. It's a little bit of juice on that, minus 130. That's what I got it at.
And it's over how many goals? 5?
5.
Okay.
It's down to 5, and I know there's some good goalies playing in that game, but it's Tampa Bay, Florida. It's the battle of that state, right? And they usually always take an extra effort into that game, and it seems to be higher scoring than usual that I've always seen. So that one sticks out. If I can talk about a little bit of things that I've been...
What do you mean? If you can, of course you can. This is your show. Let it out there, buddy.
We haven't done a video since last week, right? But since then, I've been really going crazy on my bets for first periods.
Oh, my God. You sound like Pete Loshak. I'll just leave that story out. Go ahead.
You know about it. We talked about this off air earlier on one of the other shows that we did earlier. And I'm talking first period overs are just killing it in the NHL. If you take a look at the last Saturday, for example, there was 13 games. Every game went over in the first period except for the last game, and that could have went over so easily if Jonathan Gaudreau, Johnny Hockey didn't fan on a shot. Could have been 13 for 13 over, and you usually get 1 plus 120, 130 sometimes on those bets.
Now, do the first period totals or second, are they out right away, or do they come out game day?
They're out right now. They're out right now. Most of them are out right now. Yeah, so they're a little bit later. Usually you get the overnight lines, and you get the actual lines for the totals and the spreads early in the day, and then about a couple hours later you get
so
the
that's
totals.
An angle that you feel you have an edge and you enjoy it early
in
the season?
Last night I did a 4-team parlay. I said, okay, let's see if this trend continues. I took the over in first period all 4 games, and wouldn't you know it, all 4 games came through.
Wow. Dana, what are your thoughts on that with totals on periods?
Well, last year we did that quite a bit. I'm all for that. It's interesting because last night all 4 games were shaded to the under, when clearly this season 18 of 25 games have gone over, and I'm wondering, Mike, how much of a how much the bookmakers are going to kind of change the way that they do totals, because the NHL has changed. I mean, even if you look at a team like the Rangers, you could watch them play and say, wow, now the Rangers are kind of a fast team.
Mm-hmm. They scored 7 last night. Yeah,
this is much more of a transition league right now, and I'm not sure the old 5 and 5.5s are gonna be effective for the bookmakers this year.
That's interesting. Yeah,
that is, and another good thing, a thing that I'm noticing is what Dana said. The books are soft right now. There's so much action in so many other sports right now, and when you have first periods covering like that, you would think that they would make some type of adjustment. But this seems to me to be the time to take advantage of it. While you got the bookie, not paying total attention, he's got his back turned.
The books take a little bit of time to adjust. Like Dana was saying, they take a little bit of time. They see the trend, but they're like you said, they're concentrating on football, other sports, Major League Baseball playoffs, etc. So if you can catch this before, if it does go up, like Dana was saying, it's very possible. I doubt it. But it might happen, actually. It might happen. Who knows? But take advantage of it.
Sure. And another thing, like Dana was talking about, the game has changed. It's almost like when football started going to a more of a transition. It was all, it was just air games. So hockey, which for years has been a grind, just to grind it out. Now they're picking up pace. And like you said, New York Rangers, I remember watching them as a child. It was a slow-paced team. And now if they're picking up pace, hey, that's some good thoughts to keep in mind for the rest of the season. Hey, Dana, there's one game I want to talk about. Scott Carter and I talked about it off camera. Montreal is at home. I guess it's their home opener, and they've got a tired Pittsburgh Penguin team coming off a 6-5 loss in overtime, traveling all the way to Montreal. What are your thoughts? Something tells me Montreal might be the play here.
Montreal's home opener as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really interested about what's going on with Carey Price. I mean, I've had the flu before, and I've had the flu bad. And to me, I mean, I haven't been out this long, so something really is interesting going on and brewing there, I believe. But I can tell you this, I'm much more of a believer in Al Montoya than I was in Mike Condon last year. I think Al Montoya is a fantastic goaltender. He's played behind fantastic goaltenders. And so I'm pretty confident and comfortable in backing him. But I still also with Montreal it's another one of those teams where I just need to know where they are and who they are, but it would definitely be Montreal or nothing. This is a back-to-back after dropping a 4-3 loss to Colorado in a game that they were in control of for most of the game. So I don't know mentally where Pittsburgh is going to be, but certainly it would be Montreal or nothing.
And that was their first loss of the year, Pittsburgh, actually. They've been actually playing pretty good.
Yeah, and I thought they might get caught up maybe in a little bit of a hangover from, winning everything last year. But you know what? That's a well-coached team and a coach that is absolutely just ingrained in bringing the best out of his players. Doesn't matter what time of the season it is. He gets them going. He gets them ready. With that being said, Dana has one pick. Scott, do you have one more pick for our viewers before we wrap it up?
I got a couple more. If you want to take some overs in the first period, I'm gonna probably bet almost every game to be over. I'm serious. But the best ones I like for the over first period are San Jose.
Okay.
And who's San Jose playing? Oh my God, I can't read my own notes. Anyway, San Jose game.
And what's the over? What's the number?
1.5.
1.5.
All these overs are 1.5 for the first.
For the Islanders.
Yeah. The other one I like is Dallas and Nashville plus 130 over first period. Edmonton and Carolina over 1.5 first period, and then Buffalo and Calgary. I'm taking all those. Okay. I'm going to keep going with the trend until it stops.
Okay. Hey,
I mean, that's the way
trend is your friend, as Double J always says. You know what? Dana, any closing thoughts on a few of those picks? San Jose, the Dallas, Washington over in the first, Dallas and Nashville, first period over?
Yeah, I love the over in Dallas, and I talked to Lindy Ruff, the head coach of the Dallas Stars, the other day, and I asked him flat out about how the goaltending situation is for his team, and I said, hey, look, you've answered 1,000 questions about Lettinen and Niemi, and I said, how are you handling it? I mean, obviously you feel pretty good about these goaltenders, and he flat out said to me that he feels as if his goaltending situation is fine. And what's interesting is Niemi started the first 2 games for Dallas when we thought maybe Lettinen would, because Lettinen was is the guy that's perceived to be number 1 there. But I foresee there to be a change in Dallas. I can't see both of these goaltenders going into the postseason. And no matter what Lindy says, I mean, the numbers don't lie, and neither one of these guys are guys that you're going to ride to the Stanley Cup.
Wow, very well said. And with that being said, that sounds like to me.
And back to Price, just one thing about Price. Yeah. I watched TSN. It's a local, it's a national sports station in Canada, and they talked about they were in the locker room for the Canadians. They said they saw Carey Price come in yesterday, and they said the guy was white as a ghost for the last 3 or 4 days because of his flu, and he looked a lot better, had a lot more color in his face, and he's going to be ready very soon. But obviously, being that sick, being in goal 60 minutes, you're not going to play tonight. So it might be another day or a game or two for sure tonight, and then maybe the next game. But he's almost there. He'll be ready.
Well, the Montreal media brought that on themselves, and it's very well that Carey Price could be sick. I know that he practiced Monday before the team, and he was on the ice yesterday as well, and he could be sick. There's no doubt about it. But the way that they handled his injury last year leads people to not trust what the Canadians tell the media, and it just seems odd. I mean, it is the flu. So I'm not sure how long that lasts, but I know for me it lasts 2 or 3 days. And for them to say that he's out before they even leave town to go to Buffalo, to me, I'm sitting there.
That sounds a little fishy. That sounds like a little bit of Bill Belichick type of, mind games that are being played. Do you think that might be it, or is maybe this guy injured and it's just not being revealed yet?
Well, for me, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. But, I mean, if it goes into not only this start, but then the next start, I think you have reason to wonder what actually is going on with Carey Price. I mean, if he's that sick, why is he not in the hospital?
Yeah, exactly. That was my next question. Any thoughts on that, Scott?
He's just killing me in my fantasy league. I got Carey Price. I mean, last year the same thing. Like you said, he was injured. I put him on injured reserve. Then suddenly he's back, and then suddenly he's out for the year. Wow. So hopefully this year it's just a flu, like you said. But I'm just losing too much points in my fantasy league. Wow. Carey Price.
All right, guys, listen, I really appreciate it. Viewers, you heard it, okay? I'm going to post all these picks on the video today, and then starting in a couple days, we're going to have all these picks charted. So you're going to see the records. The puckheads will hold themselves accountable. Dana, thanks so much for being on board with us. We look forward to talking to you on Thursday. Scott Carter, actually, I can't wait till you get the hell out of the studio. All right, guys, cash those tickets in NHL hockey. Dana, we'll talk to you soon.
Have a great day, guys. Thanks for your time.
Take care.
All right, buddy.
Research before you bet. Be sure to check out SBR Picks for the best game predictions, breakdowns, and much, much more.